Hey y'all, happy Sunday and welcome to this week's live Q&A session. This is the portion of the show where we allow YouTube to send out notifications that we're going live. If you're watching this live Q&A on replay, please scrub ahead until this graphic disappears and the actual show begins. If you're watching live and you have any comments or questions, please go ahead and put them in the live chat. But for now, grab a beverage, sit back, and relax while the countdown timer does its thing. Then we'll get started. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a heck of a week here in the compound and just Yeah, people going in all kinds of different directions and going here and going there and everywhere else and all things in between. But we'll make it. Welcome to December. Crunch time is upon us, and we need to kind of think about what we're going to do for the dreaded C word. Yeah, that everybody, well, I won't say everybody, but a lot of people look forward to it. A lot of people would really rather it came every 4 years, like leap year and the Olympics, you know. But we'll handle it. We'll handle it. So, before we get started doing anything, however, I want to say hello to and give a shout out to my buddy Steve, my only moderator. You see him over in the comments. He's here every week. Steve runs a tidy little business called Harneal Media. If you are even thinking about creating your own website, Steve is the only guy I'm ever going to recommend, simply because he's very good at what he does and he's very competitively priced, and it's 100% personalized service. When you deal with Harneal Media, you're dealing with Steve, and that's it. You're not going to be dealing with some nameless, faceless person in a call center somewhere that you're never going to contact again. You're always 100% of the time going to be talking with Steve. Now, if you're looking to set up like a web store so you can offer your products, your services, your models, whatever you decide you want to get into, Steve's the guy that can help you out with that. He can do all kinds of different integrations with the different online pay sources and what have you. Um, he can hook you up with a print on demand company if you're looking at creating lines of merch like t-shirts, baseball caps, coffee mugs, that kind of thing. Uh, I mean, the the options are pretty much limitless. So do yourself a favor. If you're getting tired of paying listing fees and paying commissions and all this other stuff, and you want to bring all that in house, head over to harnealmedia.com. There's a link in the description of every video and live stream on this channel. It's that way for a reason. And hit that contact us link and tell him what you're looking for. Tell him what you'd like to do. He'll do as much or as little as you want. If you know, like me, and know absolutely nothing about running a website, he can take care of it. If you're pretty well versed in running a website and just need some help in getting things set up and organized, he'll take care of it. So do yourself a favor. You can't go wrong. Reach out to Steve at harnealmedia.com, link in the description. And thank you, Steve, for everything you do. I truly appreciate you. So, today I thought I would do something a little bit different. And we've got a couple of questions out there, and I will get to them. But today I wanted to talk about a couple of underused resources because this is crunch time and we're getting down to where we've got a lot of people we got to make a lot of projects for. And it's real easy to fall into that trap of, oh, crud, what do I do? What do I do? What do I make? I got to find a design. I got to come up with something. You only need look as far as your own Vectric portal. And what I mean by that is, let me bring it up here, your V and Company account on the Vectric portal. Now, I put a link down in the description for both of these resources I'm getting ready to talk about. And when you first go to your Vectric portal, this is what you're going to see. It's the login. Now, if you've never been here before, click here to sign up. What you will need to use for your login is the email address you used when you purchased the license for your Vectric software. Okay? That's going to be your username, is that email address. You'll have to set up a password And when you've got that all taken care of, you'll sign in. This will take you to this page right here. Now I'm going to say my page is different because I'm a beta tester. I have access to both VCarve Pro and Aspire. So some of these things are going to be different for you. If you have VCarve Pro, this is what you're going to see. If you have Aspire, you'll see Aspire up here. Now, right here on the home page, this is your V & Company account, V & Co account. We have a bunch of different options up here on top, different drop-down menus, but we can scroll down and we can see other things. Here is the software that you are authorized. Now, when you purchase a license, the license is good for 3 computers. I have Aspire on 3 computers and VCarve on 2 computers. So if you only have it on 1 computer, you get another computer or you have another computer, you'll go online and you'll come in and you'll download your software here. If you are thinking about upgrading from a previous version to a new version, the current version, here is where you'll do it. Now, if you click on this right here, this is going to tell you how much it's going to cost. It's going to read what you have and your upgrade options and the individual your individual costs. Okay. So it's on a case-by-case basis. If you're upgrading from VCarve Desktop to VCarve Pro, it's one price. If you're upgrading from VCarve Desktop to Aspire or VCarve Pro to Aspire, it's another price. And all of that will be laid out for you. There is no penalty for upgrading from an older version. If you're using version 9 and you want to upgrade to version 12, it's the same price as if you were upgrading from version 11 to version 12. Once you have purchased that license is yours and it's going to work. They don't penalize you for having an older version of the software. There are millions of people out there that are still using version 9.5 and version 10 or 10.5. You purchase that license is yours to use. It would behoove you, however, to go ahead and upgrade to the newer versions, simply because there's more support for them. And there may be security issues with older versions, but that's true for most software. So this is where you go to find out how much it's going to cost you to upgrade to the most current version. Now, Eyal Peleg has asked, can you transfer a license from one machine to another? You, generally speaking, don't need to. So if you if your hard drive dies and you buy a new computer, you can just go ahead over and install it into the new computer. Okay. There's generally no reason needed to transfer a license from one machine to another. It doesn't work that way. They understand that things happen. Okay. Now, you can also transfer the software from one person to another. There is a fee for that, however. Not from, say, you decide CNC is not for you and you want to sell everything, including your Vectric license. There is no fee to you for selling it. The new purchaser, you will both have to do certain things. You'll need to get a hold of Vectric to do this. The purchaser will pay a $50 transfer fee. That takes that license out of your name and puts it in their name. creates them a V&Co account, and they now take over and you are free and clear from it. But there is a $50 transfer fee. So, Not Stanley is asking, is there a free version? Yes, there is. There are free trials to all of the software. You can go to vectric.com and you can download the free trial versions. Now, the free trial is not restricted as far as the usability of the software. There are no restrictions on what it will do as far as designing, tool pathing, and everything else. However, you cannot save G-code with the trial versions. There are a couple of exceptions, and I'll get into that in just a minute. All right. The free trial versions will not allow you to save G-code and actually go out and machine the project. If they did, there wouldn't be much use in buying a license. Also, any file you create in the free version, when you do purchase the license, those files can only be opened the first time on the same computer you designed it on. That keeps people from downloading a free trial, creating a file, sending it to their buddy over 2 states over, and having them generate the G code and send it to you. It can only be that file can only be opened on the same computer it was designed in the first time. After you save it again from a licensed version of the software, it can be opened on any computer. And Pete over at Nature's Live Edge says, I will add that transfer only works for the original purchaser. That's true. If you are the original purchaser of the license and you transfer it to somebody, even after that transfer, it can't be transferred to somebody else. So you may be able to get a hold of Vectric and work around that. I don't know. I will say there are a lot of things that you will need to contact Vectric about, because, and let me also say, this is as of December 1st, 2024. If there are any changes after today, then I don't know. Obviously, what I'm saying right now isn't a fact. So now I mentioned that there is one exception to that. The trial versions will not allow you to actually save G-code and go out and cut the file. There are some exceptions, and that dovetails into where I'm going next here on this resource list, and that is to the free projects. A lot of people come over to the portal and they never go any further than this. Just scroll down and you will see all kinds of different categories here. The free project of the month. Vectric works with several creators, but for the most part, it's Michael Tyler who designs these projects of the month. And he's a very, very talented man. And here you'll see a bunch of different projects. And we'll go to the next page. There are a whole bunch of different projects here that you can download, get all of the files, and you can cut these. They're all over the place. Now, I'm going to jump to the last page because this is one of those forgotten projects. I see new people all the time that don't know about this, and it takes a while to jump. Man, there's more pages of files here than I remember. 13 pages so far. 15. Wow, here we go. 17, and new projects are added all the time. But there is one particular project, if I ever get back to it and find it, I think this is it. Oh my gosh, where is it? Where is it? Oh my gosh, I missed it. It's called the Paradise Box, and there it is, right there. It is almost a rite of passage. If you have Vectric Software, that you create one of these Paradise Boxes. These Paradise Boxes are absolutely awesome. They are, and it's not showing a real good picture of it. This is a part of the Paradise Box. The Paradise Box is a rather large jewelry box that is just loaded with great ideas. It's a simple hinge on the back. There are some dados cut in the side. And this is all V-carved along the front, the back panel, the top. There is space on the sides for further customization. Let me go ahead and download the project files. And I'm going to put it on my desktop just for giggles. We'll save that. Then I'll open up my desktop. And where are you? Paradise Box tutorial files. I'll extract those. And as soon as that opens up, we'll go back to the desktop, and it should be Paradise Box tutorial files. And there are some photos right there. That's what the box looks like when you get it cut. It's a very simple project. It is I've made 2 of these for my granddaughters. They are very, very well received. And I have yet to find anybody that doesn't love. Oh, come on. I'll just open up there. Boom. There we go. I've yet to find anybody who doesn't love these things. They come with a PDF file of full instructions. The hinge that Michael used to make this can sometimes be hard to find, but he lists it right here. It's a piano hinge. He lists it by the part number. It can sometimes be hard to find, but you can substitute any hinge for it. And it's step-by-step instructions and all of the CRV files needed to cut this project. To show you how old this project is, and there are links to all of the parts and supplies that he used for it. To show you how old this project is, this is compatible with VCarve and Aspire version 7.5 and later. Now, something else to consider. You have to go through and check them out one by one. But a lot of these projects are what they call trial version friendly, meaning that if you have the free trial, it will cut on the trial version. You will need to go through and look at each of these. This Christmas sled is also very well received. It's also very well received. It's a little miniature sled for Christmas, and it's a very well received project. A good percentage of these are trial version friendly, meaning you can open up this file in your version of the software and then generate G code, go outside and and run it and cut the project itself. There are a multitude of projects over here. I mean, you name it. So that's one resource. When we come back over here up on top, now we can go back to my account homepage here, and I can look at partner projects that they have done with some of their creative partners, case studies, which are basically different companies or single users who have created a business using all of these different tools in the software. Then there is the In the Labs series. I saw it mentioned earlier that Becky's Santa Claus key was a great project. It's in here in the Labs archive. All of their In the Labs videos that were made. Let's look at the Santa's Magic Key here that Kurt brought up a minute ago. All of these that were done on their YouTube channel, here's where you download the project files. And here's the video. So not only can you watch the video to see how they did it, you can also download the project files for free. And these are free to all users. These are compatible with Aspire, vCarve Pro, and vCarve Desktop. However, you need to look and see what version. These may only be compatible with version 12, which is another good reason to go ahead and upgrade. So that's the In the Labs series. Everything they have ever put up in their In the Labs series, you'll find it right here. Okay. And I mean, just a freestanding arcade game. Come on. What's not cool about that? There are a lot of good projects here that a lot of people just don't know are available to them. Along with that, they have a link to Design and Make, which is a way for you to download more content for your clip art folders. There are tips and tricks. Their tips and tricks videos are here for using the various different tools within their software. A lot of their videos that involve the various different tools and great ideas for different projects are over here. Just literally all kinds of resources. So it's a great resource for all kinds of various different things. Another underused and highly underappreciated resource is the Vectric user forum. Now, you've heard me mention the user forum before. I don't get over there and use it as often as I should. And I don't participate over there as much as I should myself. I need to change that. And there is the user forum. Again, there's a link down in the description box of this live stream. I would highly encourage you to get over and sign up for the Vectric Users Forum. Now, just taking a brief glance, I'm going to slip down here to the bottom real quick. There are a total of 318,000 posts over here, 43,000 topics, and 30,000 members. There are Vectric employees within the membership here, but there's no way Vectric has 30,000 employees. The membership is made up primarily of regular users like you and I. If you are having an issue, this is a great place to network with people and possibly get it solved. They do have a great search function up here at the top. If you're searching for an issue, if you're searching for um, uh, projects and inspiration, again, over here under free CNC projects and inspiration, you'll find free projects, newsletters, maker spotlights. There are all kinds of resources over here. There's a section for Aspire where you have general discussion, tips and tricks, and a gallery where you can post pictures of the projects you've created. Same for VCarve Desktop and VCarve Pro. The same for Cut 2D Desktop and Pro. The same for the laser module and Cut 3D and Photo VCarve, Design and Make, gadgets. There are a lot of gadgets over here that are not listed in the gadget library through the help section within the software. People create their own gadgets, and a lot of that is talked about over here. User submission. This is where users submit their own gadget to the community. Wrapped rotary machining. Ken Armstrong, wrapped rotary machining. There is a gentleman over here by the name of Milo Scott. And in fact, it's funny. He's online right now. That's Milo. Milo is an absolute wizard when it comes to the rotary axis. I would highly, highly, highly recommend you come over here to the Vectric forum and post your issue over here in wrapped rotary machining. Now, I don't know whether you're using Aspire or you're using VCarve. I would also look into maybe posting that over here in these sections, either Aspire or VCarve in the general section. Now, I will, and this is in reference to Ken's issue with his 3D. The image of the model is stretched out 3 times as long and is 3 times skinnier than if I make the same part in version 11.5. What I was going to recommend was that you send that message, you contact Vectric Tech Support on that. However, I'm going to recommend instead that depending on whether you're using Aspire or VCarve, you come check out whether you think it's appropriate over here or if you think it's more appropriate down here in rotary machining. I will tell you there are some absolutely fantastic resources over here. Okay, you're using Aspire. All right. I would get over here into the forum and have a chat with a few people. But fair warning, the things you see Milo Scott doing with that rotary axis are going to just knock you for a loop. The man is an absolute wizard. Still, I would, however, get in contact with Vectric Tech Support because there's no reason for that to be happening unless there's an issue somewhere under the hood, if you take my meaning. I can't think of a reason why it would be doing that, why it would be stretching your model out. And I've not heard of that issue before. I haven't had that issue, and I'm using Aspire version 12.0. I've not had that issue, so I've not been able to replicate it. But yeah, you won't have the beta testing section available to you. But let's just go over here and look at the free CNC projects. And I mean, look at all of this. And again, These are absolutely free to Vectric Software users. And there are 248 topics. It's just insane what's available. Let's go back and take a look in, well, let's start with VCarve. Let's just jump into the general category here. These are all pinned announcements from Vectric. You'll notice some names in green. Those are Vectric employees. And you know these people. That's Edward. There's Ollie. You don't see Todd or Becky over here very often. Sometimes. Mohammed, you'll see him pretty often. He's one of the developers. Charlie, you'll see, is one of the developers. But, I mean, look at all of these different topics. There are pages upon pages upon pages. These are people just like you and me who own CNC machines that are using the software in the real world. And a lot of times, some of the issues that we've been having, they had the same issue and they have learned how to fix it. So I would highly encourage everybody who uses the VCarve software or Aspire, Cut 2D, Cut 3D, Photo VCarve, you name it. I would highly suggest that you click that link down in the description. It's not an affiliate link. It's just going to take you over here. Click that link down in the description. Come over here and register and join the crowd. I don't participate here as much as I should, and I'm trying to change that. But they're a fantastic group of people, and it's a fantastic resource if you're having issues or just want some design inspiration or just want to talk to other people who use the same software you do. So that's the Vectric User Forum. Another thing that's available to you is your clip art. Now, again, this is going to be a little bit different for me because I have access, I have a license for both VCarve and Aspire. Here is where you can download all of your clip art. 2D games is just 1 megabyte. You can download the installer here. If you go this route, I would download this to your downloads folder on your machine. It will download an exe file that will decompress all of the clip art and then put it in the proper folder within your software so that it is visible here in your clip art. Now, if you already have all of this clip art, then no worries. But this is a way to download all of the clip art all at once. If you have VCarve Pro, these are the installers for the clip art for VCarve Pro. If you have Aspire, these are all of the installers for Aspire. Again, I have access to both because I have a license for VCarve and a license for Aspire as a beta tester. You would have one or the other. You would not have both. So, and they are different. There are, I think it's like 1,200 models that come with Aspire, or excuse me, 1,200 pieces of clip art that come with Aspire. And I want to say it's like 500, maybe 600 that come with VCarve. So they are different. And then you have the models that if you've purchased anything or got any free files from Design and Make, and they are in a separate folder and a separate category within your clip art folder and within the folder system on your computer, on the file system there. So again, if you don't have all of your clip art and you want it all, so you're not downloading it every time you go to use a piece, That's where you go, right here. So, just a few ideas for resources. There are a ton of potential Christmas gift ideas. And believe me, these are files that have been used, tried, and they do work. You will get a pop-up note every time you open up the file, reminding you to go through all the toolpaths one by one and make sure that you have the proper tools, feeds and speeds, cutting depths, everything. Then recalculate those toolpaths before you save G code and go outside and cut them on the machine. But that's true no matter where you get the files. So now, Butch, we should all get together to gift Mark the gift of extra time. That would be fun. I need a day between Saturday and Sunday just to get caught up. But, hey, what can you do? So, those are a couple of resources that I use quite often, as a matter of fact. I may not download that particular project or download it and then modify it, change it up a little bit. But lots of good ideas over there and lots of great sellers. The Paradise Box, I have seen people sell them for anything starting at $200 up to $400, depending upon the woods used to make them. I don't think, wait, maybe I do. I'll need to look here and see if I made 2 Paradise boxes not long after I got my CNC router, my first CNC router set up. And I made 2 of them for each of my, one for each of my granddaughters. They loved them. And yes, there I do have pictures, as a matter of fact. And I did change up the pattern a little bit. I didn't like how deep the 60-degree V-bit V-carved. So I used a 90-degree V-bit, and they turned out much nicer. I made the ends out of cherry and the main bodies out of maple and made them for my granddaughters. And I got to tell you, they absolutely love them. I made them that was for Christmas of 2015, and they still have them. They love them. I'm here to tell you, they are greatly appreciated gifts. So, and there's plenty of room on the bottom piece to engrave your name and a personalized message and what have you. Because they are big boxes. I'm here to tell you, I was surprised at how big they were after I got them assembled. So, let's see here. Let's get over to a couple of questions that folks have. Real quick, like Rich Bratcher, new channel member. Thank you for joining. I do appreciate it. You've joined a great group of folks. Check the community tab here on my YouTube channel after we're done here, and you'll find a link to tomorrow's members only live stream, and hope to see you there. Thank you for becoming a channel member. What does the star represent after the names? Some of them have them, some don't. The folks with the star are channel members. Those are fellow channel members. You'll bump into some of them tomorrow, and we'll talk more on this tomorrow evening, but do reach out to me. You can go to any of the past members only live streams. My email address is in there. Reach out to me, and we'll get you set up in the members only Facebook group, the super secret live chat, and all that other good stuff. So, yeah, reach out to me. Steve says, I need an extra month between yeah. Well, as much as you do, Steve, I still don't know how you do it all. I don't think Steve has left the house more than 2-3 times in the last 5 years, something like that. Once very against his will, but we won't get into that. Let's see here. Butch Miller wants to know, using the clip art molding profiles with modeling create shapes with custom profiles, how well does that work on, say, a sign outside border, and what bits to carve? Okay. Butch is referring to, let me bring this back on screen. Butch is referring to these, let's see, 2D vectors. No, it would be molding profiles here. Butch is referring to, let's use this one because it's simple, these molding profiles. Let's put it somewhere where we can see it, not on the center lines. And using them, let's see, you said using them with the create shapes with custom profiles. So you're basically using either two rail sweep or extrude along one or more vectors. How well does that work on, say, a sign outside border, and what bits to carve? They do work very well as far as a outside border. But the thing you have to remember is, let's say this is my outside border and I want to extrude this along, let's see, fifth icon along the top row. Oh, this one here. Create shape using a custom profile. You know, I don't know that I've ever used that. Let's try it out. What I'll need to do though is create a vector. So let me create a vector. I'm going to make one. We're going to see how this works. And we'll go x0, y0. And I'm going to make it the same. X equals and y equals, mainly because I don't remember. Create. Okay, so I've got a vector here. Yes, I got a vector there. That's the outside border. Now, so let's go in here. I've never used this, okay? Create a custom shape. I'm guessing we're going to do that. Preserve internal corners. Yes. Scale 100%. Base height is 0. See, I have never used this. So I think I do so, and let's find out. Let's create it. And we'll look at the 3D view, and there it is. So it has created that shape, but not as an outside border the way you're thinking. Okay. If you're talking about, let me close this, go back up to the top view, go into the 2D view. If you're thinking about, well, let's go into the component tab and let's see what we've got here. Properties, and that's our height. Close, go into the component tab there, and try this, go into properties. It's still creating custom shape. Okay. I can set, let me see, I'll set a base height 0.25. Let's try that and see how that works. Except I don't think that is going to be, nope, that's not going to be. You're talking about making a border. So if I have a piece of material that's 3/4 inches thick. Oh, you know what, Brooks? Thank you. You're right. From the left edge. Thank you. Close. And let's go back over to the 2D view so I can see this easier. Control Z and Control Z again and Control Z again. There we go. Thank you, Brooks. So we need to put a vector here. So I'll click and then I'll smart snap to that. Have I got my geometry snapping on? Yes, they are. Let it wake that one up. Well, why aren't you snapping? Why aren't you snapping to that vector? All right, fine. Let me join these. And J on my keyboard. Join them. Close. Go into node editing. Why are you not snapping? Now that's just not right. That's just rude. Okay. Geometry snapping off, on, off, on. Now, why are you not snapping to the same level? I'm not getting a horizontal snap. All right. You want to be that way? We'll do it the old-fashioned way before snapping was a thing. Snap. Close. And now, grab the scissors, come up, snip, close, delete. All right, now I've got that, and that's all joined. So, thank you, Brooks, for reminding me of that. So now we'll select that outer vector. We'll go into here, and we'll select this vector, and we'll see what we get. Create the component. And now it needs to be reversed. Needs to be reversed. So we'll close, Control Z, select that, and let me go back into the 2D view so I can go into node editing, make start point. Okay. Now let's try this. See, I've never used this tool before. Okay. And we need to preserve internal corners. Create. Oops. 3D view. It still went the other way. All right. Control Z. Let's try just flipping it. Let's mirror this. I don't think that'll be the case. Not rotate, mirror. Don't want to make a copy. Don't care about job center. Flip horizontal. Close. Try it. Worst that can happen is it don't work. I'd create. There we go. It just needed to be reversed. There we go. It's curved line. It doesn't snap. I didn't think about that. I thought I was drawing a straight line, but thank you, Pete. So that's how that works. And your next question, which was what bits to carve. Because we're working in Aspire, this is now close. This is now considered just another 3D model. So what bits you would use would be a tapered ball nose, just like anything else. I would do, because you do have a vertical piece right here, I would do a roughing, then a finish tool path. You have a vertical drop here and a vertical drop there. The roughing should take care of, no, it won't either. So you will have a little bit of a taper to this edge here using a tapered ball nose, but it would be cut just the same as any other 3D model. So, yeah, roughing then finishing tool path. And we would go, see, roughing, use okay, our thickness is 3/4. We got that. Model thickness exceeds the material thickness. So we'll click on set and we'll change that model thickness to 0.75. Click apply, then close that. Now let's take a gander. It has scaled everything to fit within our material. So I can click OK. And that was a finishing. I didn't mean to do finishing. I meant to do roughing. Close. Do a roughing tool path with a 1/4 inch end mill to the selected vector. Dabba 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 da. Go with Z level. 20 thousandths machining allowance. And we'll calculate. And then select the vector. There you go. Calculate. And there's the roughing tool path. And there's that. Now we'll create a finishing tool path. Not going to use, well, not going to use the 1/8 inch. I'll remove that. Selected vector, no boundary offset needed. I think for this I will use offset, and we'll calculate. And we'll see how long this is going to take to preview. Why would I not do a raster path on this? Simply because, whoa, look at this. Simply because I want, if I use a raster tool path, it's going to go back and forth and do these sides perfectly, but then it's going to start doing real short passes right here. I would actually want it to cut around the machine, the entire thing that way. Now, let's go ahead and preview this and just see what happens here. And there we go. I'm going to turn off my heaters while this is running. Getting a bit toasty in here. There we go. And this is running with a 1/16 of an inch tapered ball nose bit. So the step over is very, very small. But you see what's happening is it's cutting around the entire thing in one fell swoop. So we're not getting little short side to sides right here. It's cutting all the way around it, just basically making laps around the entire project. And we'll get into machining time in just a minute. Just about finished with our preview. There are slight angles it's carving down here, which is why it's not just cutting straight across. Almost done. You can do it. And machining time is going to depend on several things, not the least of which would be your step over. Tighter step over will give you a better surface finish, but it'll also take a lot longer to machine. So we can look at this here, and that looks pretty decent. Now, because we have made a 3D model, excuse me, there are some issues we may have with this versus using the molding toolpath. For right now, let's take a look at this and you see what I mean. That's a 9-hour carve because it's a 3D model. We close, uncheck this. It gives a good result. There's not an issue there. But a 3D model is always going to take longer to carve than a, let's go back over here, a molding toolpath. I'm coming back over into the 2D view in the design space here to, what I need to do is I need to measure the width here, just because I don't know. So from there to there is 1 inch. Okay, that's fine. All right, I can come out of that. And I need to create another rectangle that is 11 by 11, anchored at the same place. Close. Whoops, I didn't create the rectangle, dummy. 11 by 11, create, now close. Okay. So now we'll select that vector, go into the molding toolpath, hold down Shift, select that vector, toolpath all the way to the top. We're going to cut it with a 1/16 inch tapered ball nose, like we did the other. I want to vary the step over. I want to skip any flat regions. I'm going to use a larger area clearance tool, my 1/4 inch end mill. It's going to machine the flat regions. Okay. I'll leave a machining allowance, 20 thousandths. I'm going to create sharp corners, and I'm going to calculate it. It's going to cut through the material. We know. Oh, I didn't change that. And it ran backwards. So let's go back into this. See what we're doing here. Oh, I forgot to deselect. Uncheck these. Now let's go back. 2D view. I want to reverse this rail. Okay, there we go. Now let's try it. Calculate. Okay. That's better. Okay. I could preview it, but let's look at machining time first. 4 hours. So we've cut it in half. We've cut the time in half by using the molding toolpath versus using a 3D model. 4 hours to cut this with the molding toolpath versus 9 hours as a 3D model. Now, this is saying it's going to cut the top. It's not going to cut the top, but just to make sure, something I'll do here. Let's go back to the top here. The 3D finishing toolpath. Let's hold that down. So it's going to cut between those selected vectors. Calculate. And it's only going to carve that. Then it'll work its way down like it did. I'm not going to preview the whole thing because that'll take forever with that teeny tiny bit. Let's go back into the toolpath summary. And, oh, hey, I'm shocked. 1 hour 34. Oh, it's only cutting that area there. There's a mistake. That's why. I do so love this kind. This is the kind of thing that I go through when I'm not live. So I do this when I'm not live, but I get a chance to rehearse all this stuff. I see what happened. Okay. Let's go with 10, 10. Still too much. That'll have to be a Control Z. You don't see this in the edited videos, but it works. No. Try 10.5. So if I'm going to have a problem, it's going to happen when I'm live. There we go. Excuse me, that's the one. So let's go in here and use that one. There we go. Those two. Calculate. All right, that's got that entire model. Okay. Now, let's take a look at these and see what we get. 2 hours. Okay, I stand corrected. It was carving all this, and there's no reason for that. But again, that is offset. Okay. And the 3D roughing, well, let's preview the visible. That's taking care of that. And the 3D roughing I did as raster, but that's okay because it's not doing much, if anything. It's just getting around the edge. All right. And now here comes the 3D finishing. And it's not taking as long as I thought. Wow. Okay. Yeah, put a square vector in the center and do a profile cut and make a picture frame out of it. You certainly could. And then changing it, yes, that cuts the machine time dramatically, is putting that vector on the inside. Now, what I forgot to do when I was drawing that vector on the inside, what I forgot was I made the that inside vector smaller, an inch smaller. That was a 1/2 inch on each side. I needed to bring it in further in order to get this carve here done. So that was only cutting this area here. And I think I also need to go do that on the molding toolpath. But I'll do that as soon as this is finished here. What is this we got going on here? Why do we have this here? Intriguing. Oh, we're not done yet. Okay. You're going to tell me you're going to come back up and cut those after you're done? That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense whatsoever. Okay. There's that. That's finished. And we'll select these. The machine time is a total of 2 hours and 22 minutes. Okay. Let's uncheck those. Go back into here. And yes, I need to use that and that. Okay. And we will calculate. And now let's try it. We will check the summary. Still 4 hours. So the 3D model is faster this time. That is not always the case. That is not always the case. So reset preview and we'll let these go. Usually the molding toolpath takes less time than carving a 3D model. But evidently this is not the case on this one. So, well, that's interesting. And thank you for bringing that up, Butch. I had not used that option, that custom profile. I'm not a very good 3D modeler, and it's simply because most of the things that I cut don't involve 3D modeling. So I have limited experience with a lot of these tools, and I just need to get into them and get into making more 3D models. And that's all there is to it. Okay, we're running into the same issue that we had before, where the thickness is different. So we don't have that dramatic drop down here. It's much, much lower, simply because this vector is an inch tall and the material, I'm trying to rotate this, the material is 3/4 of an inch thick, so it's dropping that last 1/4 inch of the profile. So this bottom 1/4 inch down here has been dropped from the carve. So that would have to be resized here. So close, come back over here, we'll select this and we'll set the size. I don't want to link X, Y. Nope, nope, nope. Close. I've got too many things selected. I just want this selected. I don't want to link the X, Y. How is that selecting everything? I just want to select this vector. There we go. Don't want link XY. I want to make the height 3/4 of an inch. Apply. And that has changed that profile that way. I can Control Z to undo that and scale the whole thing. Link XY. And that keeps it in proportion. So now, if I go over here and recalculate, keep everything the same. Okay. Reset the preview and preview those, we get a different result. And that result will be a heck of a lot nicer compared to that other size, the 1-inch height. It says I'm muted. Okay. Wow. I don't know how I muted myself, but there we go. Sorry about that. Yes, it did change the time. We're at 2 hours 55 minutes, so that did cut it a little bit. And we now have the proper profile. Come on, let go. And we now have the proper profile that we should have. We turn off those vectors. There we go. That's the proper height. It brought back that thickness that we were missing there, changing the size. So there is that. And just looking at these things, I don't like the shading here. I could turn off the shading, just making sure these are square corners, and they are, because with that shading, it looks like the corners were rounded. But if I go up here to view, use shaded background, or no, shadow shading, turn that off, we can see that we do have square corners. And you can, again, go up to the view window, use shadow shading, and that'll give you a little bit more perspective. So there is that. All right. AK Woodshop is asking, how do you record the Vectric screen for your videos? I use a product called, let me take that down there and come back here. I use a product called, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of it. It's by a company called Blueberry Software, and it's called Flashback. For years, I used Flashback Express screen capture software. And I finally went ahead, bit the bullet, and paid however much it was, and got Flashback Pro. And I will say Flashback Pro does work better than Flashback Express. There are a few options that are in Pro that are not in Express. But Flashback Express is free. You do have to register it once you've downloaded it. And they don't spam you or anything. I don't think I got more than 1 or 2 emails from them. But it does work very, very well. It's called Flashback Express by a company called Blueberry Software. And I'll go ahead and link it in the description as soon as we're done. So, did Mark show his cutting board? No, he didn't. It's in the house. It's been too bleeping cold out here to be sanding. It is, it's gotten up to 31 outside. And I may start at a little bit later on this week when it warms back up some. It's just been too cold out here. So no, I have not shown the cutting board, and I have not sanded on the cutting board. It's cut out, juice grooves done, all that other good stuff, but I haven't gone any further than that. Plus, Thanksgiving got in the way, so. All right. Kimberly's asking, what did I miss? A lot. Need to go back. Need to go back and start from scratch after we're done here, okay? Talked about a couple of very cool resources that are free to Vectric users. Great ideas for gifts and projects. And then we handled a couple of questions. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We're about 1 hour and 20 minutes in. I committed a major faux pas. I saw him out in the comments a little earlier. I've got to go track it down, but Maurice over at Erickson Design and Woodworking is going live at 2 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Mountain. So that would be 5 p.m. Eastern. He's going to go live. He released a video earlier today on a tissue box that he created in Fusion 360. So if you're more of a Fusion 360 kind of person and less of a Vectric type of a person, well, first of all, you need to be subscribed to Maurice. He's a good guy. He's got some gorgeous projects over there, I'm here to tell you. And yeah, give a brother some support. He does an excellent job over there. So I will go find a link and I'll put it in the description here in this live stream as soon as we're done live. He's going live at 3. I plan on being there. 3 Mountain, 2 Pacific, which is 5 Eastern, over at Erickson Design and Woodworking. Again, I'll put a link down in the description as soon as we're done here. Boom. Steve's on top of it. There it is. Now, channel members, tomorrow we've got a couple of little projects to work on, a little bit to talk about. I do want your questions, your answers, all that other good stuff, your photos as well. The link to tomorrow's members only live stream is over on the community tab here on my YouTube channel. And welcome aboard again to Rich Bratcher. And next Sunday, speaking of Maurice, next Sunday, Maurice is going to be my guest here on this Sunday live stream. So this gives you a week. You can get over, you can binge watch his entire channel between now and then. Then next week, you can ask him yourself, Maurice, WTF, man, where you come up with these ideas? What's going on? It's the perfect opportunity. So Maurice from Erickson Design and Woodworking is my special guest next Sunday. I mentioned my members only. If you don't know what I'm talking about, or you want to be a part of the club, right down below this video panel, you'll see the word join. Click on that word join. A panel will pop up, video play, tell you all about channel membership. We got a great bunch of people over here on the YouTube side and over on the Facebook side. Yeah, we'll get you in the super secret Facebook group and involved in the live chat. It gets going. I'm here to tell you we have a great time. And other than that, y'all take care. Get out in the shop. Go make some chips. We got a lot of work to do and 24 days to do it in. Can we make it? We've always made it before. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for spending part of your Sunday with me. I'll see those of you who choose to partake over at Maurice's live stream. And y'all take care. Have some fun. Thank you very much.